be so confident.
Okay. Hi, my name is Kimmy Jackson, and today I will be addressing the issue of illegal drugs and alcohol. There comes a point in every young man and young woman's life when they're either overcome or succumb to peer pressure. We all know the types of drugs there are. You've got crack, marijuana, cocaine, and so much more. The problem is doing away with the issues associated with them. Probably everyone in this audience right now has done or knows somebody that has done a drug of some sort, so this is for you. Not using drugs will help you maintain a healthy immune system, a brain, heart, and social life, and keep you out of bad situations. Drugs are one of the worst things one can possibly consume or put in their bodies. However, an estimated 22 million Americans use illegal drugs at least once per month in 2009. That's almost 10% of Americans. Americans need to step up and begin to overcome peer pressure at a young age since drugs are so addicting. Overcoming peer pressure at a young age is a very difficult thing, especially since all of your friends are doing it. It feels like the social norm. Well, in actuality, it's not. If you are the one of the young group of friends that is offered a hit or a line and you refuse, you're going to be asked why, and others will begin asking themselves why they're not the ones saying no. Not accepting that very first hit or line is the first step in overcoming the situation. The very first time you accept a drug of any sort is the first day of the rest of your life as possibly a drug addict. The very next day people will be talking about what you did and you'll have no clue what happened. The drug marijuana can slow receptors in the brain and over time make you have severe memory loss, and it all starts with that first hit. Hang out with the right people. If your friends are trying to get you to do drugs, obviously they're not real friends. Don't hang out around people like that. The longer you hang out around people that do drugs, the more likely you are to try it for the first time. If you want to change your outputs or your outlook on life, you have to start with changing your inputs or the people that make a difference in your life. If your friends are doing drugs, let someone know. Tell a counselor at school or your parent. If you know that someone's doing drugs and you don't tell somebody, you're just as guilty. Once you overcome this mountain on the road to the rest of your life, in the long run, you'll be much happier that you made that decision instead of letting it control your life. Now you can have a stable family life and enjoy your life to the fullest. You won't have to lie to your spouse about where you're going, like saying you're going to the grocery store, but you're really picking up an ounce of weed from a dealer a few streets over. Your children never have suspicions and then find out after all that time. And lastly, you won't affect your children in the long run. Mothers, drugs can affect a child at birth immensely. For instance, studies have shown that consumption of illegal drugs during pregnancy can result in miscarriage, low birth weight, premature labor, placental eruption, fetal death, and even maternal death. Fathers, kids, especially little boys, look up to their dads. What kind of influence or father would you be while high on drugs? Think about it. Your body will be healthier and you'll feel happier. Not so depressed all the time. Some drugs can cause loss of appetite, others cause increased appetite. If somebody knows you do drugs, it's fairly easy to guess which kind. With marijuana, you are outrageously hungry and you eat until your stomach hurts, and then you eat more because you're hungry. With heroin, the back of your throat is burning and you're so itchy you can't even think about eating. Not only do you begin to look unhealthy, but you literally become unhealthy. Smoking can and will cause lung cancer over time, also heart disease, high blood pressure, even cancer, and ultimately death. Not to mention extreme memory loss, particularly short term. You will be able to remember your childhood and something from 10 years ago, but when it comes to remembering which room you left the baby in, you better start from room number 1. The problem is visualizing what you would do if such a situation ever arises and practicing it. You do not want to end up where the other 22 million on drugs are at. It could become difficult to find a job, make friends, or even enjoy outdoors on drugs. During a job interview, you are not asked directly, have you ever used drugs? But drug addicts have a look. They all pretty much look the same. or have some kind of issue. Whether they keep looking at their watch because they can't wait to take that next hit, or they're continuously scratching their skin for no apparent reason. People are not stupid. It's apparent, and will become extremely difficult to get a job or keep a job. By the age 25, most people have matured and grown out of the party and drinking alcohol all night stage. If this is all you're wanting to do, get drunk and high, you don't have a chance at making friends, at least friends your age. Lastly, drug addicts don't really enjoy the outdoors. They want to be inside with the lights off, oftentimes because the lights hurt their blood-stricken eyes. This is very sad, not being able to enjoy the beautiful creation God made for us because of an ignorant, foolish decision to take that first hit as a teenager. You may very well end up in either a rehabilitation clinic, insane asylum, or most commonly, a jail cell. Some addicts, after years and years, want to quit, either for their children or themselves or from an intervention. This would end them up in a rehabilitation clinic, working on trying to fix themselves. A rehabilitation center is not always the case for some. Drugs, especially hallucinogenics, obviously will cause hallucinations. Thus, people begin to make them think they're going insane, not necessarily because of the drugs. This would end them up in an insane asylum. The most common place for drug addicts to end up is in a jail cell. It is not rare for drug abusers to be caught by the police, mainly through catching a dealer in the act, and dealers tend to sell others out because they were the ones using it, not me. Yeah, right. You don't want to spend the rest of your life in prison, and the easiest way to stay out is not to accept drugs of any kind from anyone. It's the worst decision you'll ever make, and you can never take it back. Instead of using drugs and alcohol, turn against them and speak against them. Do something to help the world, not just mess it up more. Speak out to your friends and family. If you know that someone does drugs, or even if they do not, the first way to help people is to reach out and inform them. If people never know what they're getting into, chances are they'll try it out to see how it feels. Thank you. Do I have any questions?
Yes. How many people take drugs worldwide?
There's an estimated 200 million people worldwide using illegal drugs. So, is that all?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.